I always say this, but hands down, the most difficult question I ask any one of my clients is, what do you want? And I'll tell you why it's so hard to answer. Because most of us try to make decisions based on backing ourselves into a corner. And then we try to make our decisions with our backs against a wall, our backs against two walls. Most people make decisions based on process of elimination, meaning they choose based on the best available options that they see in front of them. And if you're backed into a corner because you're just going through process of elimination and you don't want that, and you know you don't want that, and that job kind of doesn't sound great, and that diet sort of sucks, and you don't like that workout, so instead I'll just pick this one, you end up backed into a corner choosing something from the options that you see available, but none of them really sound good. And because you want something, you choose something, and then you're struggling and beat yourself up because you don't feel any conviction about the decision that you made. You know, maybe, for example, you decided to start a new diet or a new exercise program based on process of elimination, and you're struggling to feel motivated to see it through, and now you're beating yourself up for it, but really you never really wanted it in the first place. I was just on the phone with a woman the other day who was telling me about how she was really frustrated with her job because although she loved aspects of her job, she wanted more freedom to do her job from different places. And she knew that if she could deliver a better quality to her work, if she were able to have more freedom to spend in different places, to open her mind and spend on personal growth, that she could actually do her job better and deliver more quality if she had more freedom. But the structure of her job felt limiting. So she felt backed into a corner by what her options were, which felt like I have to get a new job. But now I go online and I'm looking for all these jobs and I'm looking at that one and I'm looking at that one, and she goes back into that process of elimination. So what we created in this conversation was the idea that most people feel stuck and backed into a corner because they're looking at the only available options to them. In other words, they're accepting and resisting. You're accepting your options, but you're resisting what you don't like about it. And my mom has always said, what you resist persists. And it's true. If you're only accepting the options in front of you and you're resisting all the things you don't like, you're just backing yourself further into a corner. So instead of focusing on accepting your options and resisting what you don't like, and maybe even part of that resistance is trying to change the dynamic. So one of the things that this woman that I was speaking to the other day was considering was, how can I change the structure of the culture of where I work? But that felt really tough. So instead I said, instead of focusing on accepting, instead of focusing on resisting and having to change the load-bearing walls behind you and knock them down, what if instead you just focused on creating a new opportunity? And creating a new opportunity is different than process of elimination, because instead of backing yourself into a corner, you're spinning around and seeing the same room from a different perspective. Now all of a sudden there's more depth, there's more variety, there's more to look at, and with more to look at, you can create more opportunity. And when we framed the conversation in this way, and I said, you're really clear on what you don't like, tell me what you do want. And she said, I don't know what I want. I really kind of want to be able to live in partly in a different country and partly in this country, but I don't know how I'd ever afford that. So if you're answering the question with I don't know what I want with or what do you want with the answer I don't know, ask this question instead. What would I love but could never ever get? And the answer is going to come to you like that, because I would love to have this and I would love to have that, but I never get it. The thing that blocks us from answering the question, what do I want, is this filter and this film of all the reasons why we think it's not possible. So if you ask yourself, what do I want? And you focus on the vision behind you with all the depth and variety and interest, then you can see things differently. You see the vision, and then you can create opportunity to get there instead of feeling like you have to stare at these walls behind you and figure out how to knock them over. So you want to spin around and around to see the room from as many different perspectives as you can, Perhaps get a little dizzy in the process, create confusion so that you're able to just begin to break your mind out of the pattern of being stuck, backed into this corner. Get a little dizzy in the process, but open your mind to the possibility of different options so that you begin creating based on a vision rather than choosing based on process of elimination. I hope this video was helpful. Share with me where you feel stuck, where you feel backed into a corner, and let's begin to create possibility, create the vision so that you can move forward instead of walk backwards. Share this video with a friend if you know someone who's stuck on accepting, stuck on resisting, and want to help them open their mind to a different perspective.